Hello friends, my name is Rajiv and I'm going to teach you how to use your IR remote for controlling your home appliances. IR remote, you can use any remote which is already available at your home like TV remote or any audio system remote. To start with the project, you will need a microcontroller which you can select from any AVR pick or anything. For the tutorial we are using the microcontroller named Atmega 16. This is a 8-bit microcontroller with 40 pins. It is having 32 input output pins. Together with this microcontroller we will also need a TSOP sensor. TSOP sensor is a device which is used to detect infrared rays at 38 kHz. It will be easily detect the rays emitted from your IR remote. Next we will need a DB9 connector which will be used to connect the programmer to your microcontroller to transfer the hex file. We will also need a 12 volt jack to connect 12 volt power supply, a 705 to convert 12 volt into 5 volt, a capacitor just to filter out any vibration fluctuation in your circuit. You will need a LCD display to display all the processes happening inside your microcontroller, and finally you will need some relays to interface your appliances with your circuit. Number of relays you can select as per your number of devices you want to control. If you need more devices to control, you can use more relays. Together with all these, you also need USB Tiny programmer. You can select any other programmer also, but we are using USB Tiny. You will also need a PCB on which you will mount all these devices. You will need a 12 volt power supply adapter which will be used to run this circuit. Once you have all these components, you need to connect your display, your relays, this programming 9-pin connector, capacitor 705 DC connector with your microcontroller as per the circuit diagram shown in the video. Once you are ready with all these connections, we can start programming. Before we start writing our code, we need to check few property of our microcontroller and we need to change if it's not properly set. The first thing which we need to check is JTAG. Whenever you purchase a microcontroller from any shop, it will have JTAG enabled. JTAG enabled means it will have 4 pins on port C which will not work as input output pin. So we need to disable the JTAG so that the LCD connected on port C will work properly. The second thing is the frequency of our microcontroller. The new microcontroller will always run at 1 megahertz, but the code which we are showing in our tutorial will work perfectly only if your microcontroller is running at 4 megahertz. So we need to check if it's running at 4 megahertz, otherwise we need to change the microcontroller frequency to 4 megahertz. To start writing code, we will add all the necessary library like stdio, interrupt, avr.io and the delay library. Next we need to create few variables to do calculations and store the numbers received from IR sensor. Next we have created an ISR for timer which runs at fixed interval whenever overflow interrupt comes. Next we have created a ISR for external interrupt 0 which is receiving all the bits from the IR receiver and calculating or extracting all the numbers which are coming from remote. Next we have created the main file. Inside main file we have changed the DDR values to 1 for port A. Next we have enabled the LCD. Then we have enabled the external interrupt in function. Then we have enabled the timer interrupt, and this is SCI for enabling global interrupt. Then we have written few statements to display all the numbers received from IR sensor on our LCD display. And the final thing which we have done is we checking the numbers received from IR depending upon the number, whether it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8. We are changing the appropriate bits of port A to control our devices. So by this code we will be able to control 8 devices by pressing number 1 from 1 to 8 on our IR remote. To control your devices, you can use any remote, but sometimes it may be possible that some standard company remote will not work. So I would like to suggest you to use low cost devices remote like pen drive player, audio player, or these type of simple remotes. You can use projector remote, maybe some of the TV remote will also work, DTH remote. All these remotes should work, but sometimes it may be possible that some companies are using some more encryption in their IR signals, so this code will not be able to extract the numbers from that IR signal. So try to use low cost remote, and now press any button which will generate number from 1 to 8, and you will see that the devices connected on port A or the relays connected on port A are toggling whenever you are pressing the